Hello, what is going on, guys? Spoons here, and in this video I'm going to be talking about my thoughts so far on the Titanfall beta, or demo, whatever you want to call it. I've heard people call it both names. Personally, I believe that it's a demo just because the retail game is coming out very soon, but you can call it a beta, I don't really care. But anyway, I'm going to be talking about my overall thoughts about the beta, and then I'm going to get a little bit more specific talking about each game type and basically my opinion on it. Now, first off, I just want to say that this feels like a breath of fresh air. Titanfall is not Call of Duty, it is not Halo, it is not Battlefield, it is Titanfall, and it is absolutely beautiful. Now, I've put a decent amount of hours into this game, and I'm pretty sure my opinion is pretty solid. So, if you're wondering, should you pick up the demo? Should you play it in the store, which is actually available to everyone now on Xbox One for free, so you don't need a code? I say yes. You should definitely try it out. It is, like I said, a breath of fresh air in the first-person shooter genre, at least for next gen, and it is just great. So definitely try it out if you want to, and basically that's my initial thoughts on it. Now I'm going to get a little bit more specific and talk about the movement. Now, if you're worried about the movement and how it might affect your gameplay, it is actually a core part about Titanfall, as you might guess, but it has a bit of a learning curve. You're not going to just be able to jump in and just start jumping all over walls and know exactly what you're doing. You're actually going to have to probably use the tutorial that they give you, which is absolutely great. I'm glad they implemented that into this beta or demo, whatever you call it, because there's a lot of players in here that aren't used to the parkour style game, and it's definitely something different. So if you're worried about the movement, don't worry. They have a beautiful tutorial system that will put you through different stages on how to move, and you'll basically get the hang of it within a few games. Now, also, as I've been playing, I have noticed that your mindset needs to be a little bit different. When you play Call of Duty, when you play Battlefield, when you play Halo, you kind of have a linear mindset. You know the objective, you got to go to it, and you got to pretty much fulfill the objective in order to win. But when you're playing Titanfall, you go to the objective, but you're kind of paranoid as you're going through because of the verticality that's implemented, with this parkour style game. At any point, someone can jump through a window and kick you, and you will die. So basically, your mindset is a little bit paranoidish. I'm not sure about the proper term right there, but I'm pretty sure you guys understand what I'm saying. So yeah, it's a different style mindset for a different styled game. It's not your standard FPS shooter. It is Titanfall, and it is a bit different than what you would expect with an FPS. Now, also, I want to just mention something that I found a bit funny, is that you can pick out and essentially weed out the Call of Duty players immediately. I've encountered only about 3 times, but I've encountered people that sit in the corners of buildings and also, hide in bushes and just shoot people as they walk by. Now, if you're worried about, our Call of Duty players or, Halo players, Halo jumpers or whatever, are they going to abuse this game? And my answer mainly would be no. Even if you're playing a game type, which I'll get into later, it's called attrition, and it's essentially team deathmatch. Even if you're playing that where getting kills is the only objective, you won't be able to camp, and you won't be able to rack up enough kills to win. Titanfall is about movement, it's about fluid movement, and you have to move around in order to get kills. And I think that Respawn did a pretty nice job making the map size big enough to the point where you're not just going to be able to find a funnel where people walk into and you can just sit down and just rack up kills. So I thought they did a pretty good job with the map design, at least for these 2 maps that I've played. So now I'm going to get a little bit more specific talking about each game type. And the 3 game types are Attrition, Hardpoint, and Last Titan Standing. Now, obviously, this is only for the beta. There's going to be more game types, I'm assuming, in the retail game. But let me talk a little bit about Attrition. As I said before, it is the basically team deathmatch game type for Titanfall. And it's just pretty simple. I'm not really, I'm more of an objective player, and I don't find that team deathmatch games have a strong enough objective for me to actually play it hours on end. I enjoy playing more objective-based game types, and it's essentially just a simple standard game type which you would come to expect with an FPS, these days. Now, the second game type is called Hardpoint. It's actually called Hardpoint Domination, but I'll just call it Hardpoint. And it is pretty much the same as the Call of Duty Hardpoint. Now, if you don't know what that is, it's essentially domination, but you have to actually neutralize the point before you can capture it. So there's basically 2 steps in capturing a point that the other team already has captured. Now, something that you guys might find as an issue is that when playing Hardpoint, and I believe when playing any of the other game types for the beta, there are only 2 maps. Now, personally, I don't find this as an issue. I actually haven't found myself, bored of playing only 2 maps. And I've played betas before that have 4 maps, and I've become a little bored. But I really haven't been that, bored playing only 2 maps. It's just a lot of fun, and I'm pretty sure it's just because Titanfall is just something new. It's just something great. This game is going to be absolutely fantastic once it actually comes out, and I really haven't had an issue with only playing 2 maps. So, yeah, I'm not sure if you guys will find it as an issue. I've heard other people complain about it, but definitely just try it out, put a decent amount of hours into it, and just let me know if you actually find it boring for only playing 2 maps. I don't know, it's weird for me because at first I was going to be like, oh, great, 2 maps, I'm going to be bored by, my 3rd hour of playing this, but I've actually haven't been bored at all. So let me know in the comments below if you actually care if there are only 2 maps for playing Hardpoint. And I believe there's only 2 maps for the other 2 game types. Now, before I get into this last game type, which is called Last Titan Standing, I want to talk about the Titans a bit. Now, the main characters that you use, they're called pilots, and they're just the standard characters. But the Titans, as you guys probably know, are the big mech suits that you can get into. Now, I really haven't figured out how to play properly as a Titan. I just sort of go around and just try to destroy as many things as possible, which I think a lot of players are doing. And I don't know, I haven't really figured out the proper way to use one, when to back out of a situation, or when a great time to just let it all out and shoot all my missiles and just go ham with the Titan. I'm not really sure the timing with them, but I do find them as a lot of fun. And now this leads me into my 3rd game type that I want to talk about, and the final game type in the beta, which is called Last Titan Standing. Now, this is a Titan-only game type. You do not play as pilots, and I find it interesting. It's also a no respawn game type, which is the only one in the beta. These other 2 game types, Attrition and Hardpoint, you obviously respawn, but in Last Titan Standing, you do not. Now, I really don't find that as an issue. I actually like when there's a single life game type in a game because it just ups the stakes and you really think about every move that you're going to make. But the only problem is that I don't know how to use a Titan that properly, and I end up dying. I really suck at the Last Titan Standing game type, and I've noticed a lot of other people do too. I've found that the matches that I've played have been completely one-sided. It's either you played a 4, by the way, and it's either 4-0, 3-1, and that's basically what the scores are by the end of the game. So I found that Last Titan Standing really isn't the game type for me, and I'm just going to stick with playing Hardpoint. Even though there's only 2 maps in the beta, I'm still going to play Hardpoint a crap ton. And yeah, so basically that's my thoughts on the Titanfall beta. I found that it is absolutely great. Like I said, it's a breath of fresh air. If you're thinking about trying it, definitely do. If you're on PC, hopefully you can get a code. If you're on Xbox One, it is actually open to everyone, so definitely go into the game section of your Xbox One store and download that. So I really hope you enjoyed this video and my thoughts on the Titanfall beta. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment below with them and I'll answer them right away. Also, if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe and I'll see you guys later. Stay tuned for more Titanfall content.